Hello, good evening, and welcome back to FTRL for what is round 3 of GT1. And we are round Trial Mountain this evening, same as last night. Should be getting underway in about 30 seconds, according to Biggles. For our 10-minute quali, then we've got sprint, which is 11 laps. And then you've got endurance, which is reversed from the race 1 results, which will be 27 laps, medium and hard mandatory. For the sprint race, obviously, same as always, no fuel depletion and 1 times tyres, so no issues with tyre wear. We're late. Pole time will be in the 51s, I would imagine. A very slight chance you get into the 50, but I think chances are I'm in the 51s. I would expect 51, low 51s, but yeah, I wouldn't rule out a 50 just in case. But yeah, most people in here will be in the 51s, I would imagine. The top guys. I think some of the other ones are struggling a little bit more. For example, I've seen, I think the Vipers are struggling, particularly through the first sector. Those fast corners are not suiting, and obviously the last few corners as well is not really the Vipers' friend. So yeah, I think they are struggling quite a bit. I think you seen from last night that the Lambo is very, very nice around here. The Audi is decent, the GTR is decent, the Peugeot is very good round here. Yeah, definitely the Peugeot is definitely a track that plays to the Peugeot strengths. A lot of the, particularly the first sector, obviously, it does very well around there, and obviously the last sector as well, the slow stuff, it is very good for those. Obviously this straight obviously is not particularly good for it, but the rest of the track does benefit Peugeot. You've seen that with James last night. He said it really well, so he did very, very well, and he was using that car very nicely. So yeah, I would expect Tom to be really strong this evening. Ross will be really, really strong this evening as well. Could be an interesting battle between those two, I suspect. Yeah, so just keep an eye on that. I believe that will be going on most of the night. I think those two will be very close tonight. I say the Audis seem decent as well. I think that, to be honest, it will be the Vipers that struggle most around here. I did see a couple of times the Audis didn't look 100% keen on a few of the corners. I think with this track as well, just as we're starting the first laps, it's very much a flow. It is the most beautiful track if you get into the rhythm. But it's very easy to get out of that rhythm, and the first few corners, it makes or break the lap. It can be, you can get all out of shape. You need to be very, very tight to the inside for the first few corners. So as soon as you get a little bit on the outside, your line's buggered for the latter part of the first sector. You just get out of shape before you go into the tunnel. If you get out of shape going into the tunnel, you end up going wide and losing a lot of speed. So yeah, Biggles is going through the tunnel now before the very, very long back straight. You want to get right to the inside as quick as possible through that corner to get power on the exit. The quicker you get power on, you're going down that straight. It was a very, very important corner. The most important corner on the track is that corner of the tunnel. Leads all the way down here. Smith second on the road. It's actually a fairly nice wind direction as well. It's a headwind into turn 1, which is helpful, and then get a little bit of extra speed down the straight as well. So it's actually quite a nice Biggles. It's not the cleanest way around there. See, we're straight into the 51s. A Biggles lap as he heads into a very tricky last couple of corners. You want to get nice and tight here, open up this corner, and it's about getting on the power as quick as possible. This might be close to a 51 or a low 52. It's a 52.4 in the end up. T Smith, it's a 52.2. Ross, it's a 51.9. 51.9. So there we go. 51's come to Val is 50, low 53 there. 3 flat, 57. For Derek, yeah, 56.3 SPY's at a dodgy lap. He's very quick though, so he will get good at it. What has Graham done? Has he accidentally went on hard tyres? I wonder. Or has he not come out of the pits maybe? I don't know, what is he doing? 51.4 Feber. What a first lap that is. That's... Whoa, that is... This lap's not going to be... Oh, Graham's on a quali, but I forgot about that. I didn't realise that, Derek. Oh, that would have been... Yeah. Yeah. Never mind. Enough said about that. I know what that's for. I think Graham will even agree that was I think that was what I would describe as justified. Oh dear Graham, that wasn't his finest moment, so to say. Feber is miles up, and when I say miles up, I mean miles up on his Sector 1 time. He's 2.5 times up. Bear in mind he's on a 51.4 at the moment, so this lap could absolutely obliterate the rest of the field here if we can get this on, because there's not going to be many people that are going to be capable of doing a 51.2, which is currently, if he keeps this going, is what it'll be on. He's unfortunately lost all that time in another sector, but clearly possible from Feber. Now that is ominous. If anyone can get anywhere close to a 51.2, then you'll be incredibly hard to beat. T Smith, he's still in the 52s actually, he's not getting into the 51s yet, that's interesting. Ross is 51.6, so that's a very good time. Well, 52 flat, it's a solid time. T Smith 52.1, I say he's still there. 52s, he's very, very capable of being in the 51s, he was earlier. So yeah, I think he should not get a clean enough lap. And SPY was flying at points in practice during the week. That was average for the first few corners. He wasn't maybe carrying the speed that some of the others have been carrying, but keep an eye on him. So it wasn't. Yeah, he's not quite got it going yet, SPY. Let me tap on the thing, and just through the first few corners, he wasn't carrying the speed that he was earlier in the week, and all the points. Keep an eye, SPY I'm sure will come out at some point. Then we go, Feber again is nearly 3 tenths up through the first sector. Now can he hold it together now through this sector? Because this is last time it all fell apart. That's very committed through there. Now he might actually gain a little bit of, let's go on board, gain a little bit of slip here from whoever that is in front of him. Usually I think the Lambo gets through 165 by the end of the straight, and he's at 167, so he has gained a little bit there. Again, he hasn't. I wonder. Oh, he's hit the wall there. I wonder if on his first lap, the thing was he was maybe a bit too close to a car in front. And that maybe gave him a better middle sector, but hampered his first sector is what I'm thinking. So actually a 51.4 might be fairly accurate for a normal lap without slip. I feel like he's been hampered on that lap in the first sector, and he's made it all in the second sector. So maybe a 51.4 is maybe about Fever's limit perhaps. Tom is in the 51s now. He's at 51.9. So we'll keep an eye on this as he hits the wall there. Gonna lose some time now, but we are getting now to the final few laps here, so we are obviously 51s are reached for now 4 of the field, with well kind of about matching his first sector time, so he could move up. Carl 52.1. 52.2 for Aaron, 52.3 for Chrome, 5,000 behind his blue flag, and then once again, this guy's still not into the 51s yet. He very much is capable of being in the 51s yet. Not receiving points. So I'm going to keep an eye on again. He's got a penalty, so he's not going to be doing anything. And that's actually going to. Oh dear, that's going to ruin his last lap as well, Fever. So this quali's going to be done, to be honest. He's not going to make that up with him, I'd imagine. So because he's going to be hampered on the start-finish straight. Now, T. Smith, has he made up any time in this last sector? He was down, and he is not going to make an improvement. Now, Will was kind of that's it. It's gone now for. Well there, very wide. Carl on his last lap, no improvements again here. Ross is now on his last lap. Looking at his first section, can he 10 make up on Fever? He's up. He is up. However, having said that, this was the sector of Fever's lap, which I think he got a slip on. So if Ross doesn't have a slip, then as much as he's up through this sector, purple, he might not actually be into this middle sector. Nah, everyone else, I think, yeah, Andy's finished. He's 52.2. He's improved to. It's Ross I'm interested in here because I want to see if he gets this middle sector, if he's going to be down. I think he might have got a slip on that. Oh no, he is still a 10 up. Oh, wasn't he? Wasn't that so interesting? It's interesting. It's only over 3 temps up a couple of days through the first sector. They were monster happy if you'd have managed to get that Fever. Interesting. Now Ross is on a lap that might be good enough for pole. Can he hold it together for the last couple of corners? Oh, he's done very nicely there. He's got nicely through. It's been beautiful. It looks like it's been good enough to me. I think we're about to have a 51.4 from Ross. It's a 51.3 from Ross. He takes pole position. It's a 51.9 for T. Smith. He might be a little bit gutted about that. Tom, he did get P3 in the end up. I think everyone's done, not will. Can he make any inroads or a 52? No, it's not going to be good enough. Aaron, oh, 51.8. Oh, right at the death there from Aaron. Jumps to P3. Big improvement. Only 0.4 of a second. That is a big chunk he's found at the very, very end of qualifying there. Nicely done then from Ross, who takes pole with a 51.3 from Fever and a 51.4. Aaron and a 51.8. Then comes the first usual. That's actually a really good quali from Audi. Obviously, Lambo's 1-2. Obviously, Graham's got a quali bad, but also from Audi P3, P5, and P6. So that is a very, very solid quali from them. If they can keep that rough positions, it'll be very impressive from them. Fortunately though, the issue is they've got we're going to have to wait a minute, I think, because they two, I think Graham technically is, both of the guys in the pits are on a final lap technically, so we have to run down the clock before we're going to finish. So 51.3, that was around about where I expected. I didn't think we were going to manage to push. I think Ross in the sprint race last night actually did a 51 flat. However, yeah, this evening he managed a 51.3 in quali. So yeah, it was top 5 were all in the 51s. Everyone behind in the 52s. I think certainly it kind of went as expected in terms of Vipers did really struggle. 10th, 12th and 13th, that was to be expected. This is, I would say, to be honest, probably going to be their worst track. I think Joker said the GTR actually isn't very nice around here, so that would explain why they're struggling as well in 7th, 9th, and Grumpy didn't qualify. I don't know if he also qualified, I'm not sure. Right then, 11 laps ahead of us. It's a Lambo 1-2, but there's a lot of Audis in the back. And 3rd, 5th and 6th, keep an eye on them. So yeah, very much looks like the top 3 cars around here. Lambo, Audi and Peugeot. Some of the best around here. Going on quali. 11 laps ahead of us then, Ross and Fever will take us away through this first sector. For the first time, very, very tricky first sector. You get the car nicely turned in. It's a little wide for the first part of it, but I think he's going alright for the rest of it. T-Smith is already all the way on the back. Oh, Fever's taking the lead. Fever has nicked past Ross. And Aaron's having a little look at Ross as well here. And Aaron's actually going to go all the way around the outside, which is a great move from Aaron. It was under pressure from T-Smith. And Ross has went from pole position down to P3. It has been a tricky start. I think he lost a couple of places last night as well, actually. A tricky start. And now, see down the back, we've got, let's take it as you were for the rest of the top 6. Then in 7th, you've got Carl's right on the back. Well, you've got Andy, blue flag from Pagani SBY. And then you've got Grumpy and Graham. Graham is making a move on Grumpy down the inside. We're going to switch back though and watch the battle for the lead. Fever has managed to keep P1 for the time being. Ross is just about keeping P3. T-Smith defending from Biggles, who's trying to make a move. But it is Fever who is continuing to lead for the time being. Aaron's pestering the back of him though. So the Audis are getting racing in behind, that's for sure. Tom Duval around the outside of SPY. SPY will probably get the run there, I'd imagine. That Viper will be a sitting duck around that corner there. And then he's coming back at him down the straight, as you would expect. SPY though should get a better run through here. And that Peugeot, which is nice through the slow speed corners. He needs a good run here, and he does. Tom Duval gets a pretty shocking run, and that's actually let Pagani, his teammate, get a run on him. And Tom Duval is going to be to sit back here, I think, because Pagani has now got the slip. So Pagani makes the move past his teammate up to P11. Back to the battle for the lead. Ross has lost P3. T-Smith has now jumped up. So Ross has gone from bad to worse here. He's down to P4 from P1. Fever though has managed to hold off Aaron. Can he stretch away here? And what can Ross do? Can he get back at him? Still, as you were then behind. So Carl has lost a place here to Andy. Andy jumped up one place. Simon, blue flag, is in P9. That Viper, I would imagine, might be stronger in this part. I think it will struggle when it comes to tyre wear in the second race. It'll be munching through those front tyres. Blue flag down the inside of Carl in the GTR. The GTR doesn't seem to have anything really to fight. Well, he tries to do a switchback though. He does try it, however, that Viper gets so much better drive off the corners. That is the skill of the Viper. Around these. SBY nearly got into the back there of Carl. SBY might be one to watch. Oh, down the inside, he sends it down the inside and he gets the move done on. No, he didn't get the move done. I thought he got the move done there, he didn't. And keep an eye on SBY, he might be one to have a little look at in terms of moving up the field. SBY still in P, however, he's had a better run there. And I think Carl's had a dodgy run, and also SBY is now getting a little bit of slip, so that might help him move past. I think he is now past, and Pagani's also trying to get through, and Carl has to drop back both of them, so it's a good move there. Still as you were for the top 6, it's really changing. Fever has a little gap, not a particularly big one, but a little gap, and Ross is starting to hone back in. He kind of dropped off a little bit behind the back of them, but he is very much there now. The Audis are coming with them, and then there is a 2-second gap, so very much a top 6, and then the battle for 7th is behind that. And there's a lot of people in that battle. It's the only person detached is Grumpy, so Graham is up there in P14 now in the Lambo. He's latched onto the back of the group. You see very much there's a top 6, and then everyone behind that is still in a cluster as well. Keeping an eye out here for T Smith, who's starting to get interesting. Starting to get interested in the back of Aaron here. It's very, very close. You're not pushing him around the corner there. This is the sector as well, where that Peugeot will be very strong. Around these this tighter sections, particularly these last few corners, it seems to get a good run through these final few corners. And as you can see, he's very much having a little look there at the back. Can he get it tighter than Aaron, I wonder, through this last corner? Get a better run. Fever's actually had a bit of a dodgy run. Aaron actually hit the wall there, and that has allowed T Smith to move alongside, and I think T Smith is going to have to get past him here. Yeah, Aaron's going to have to let him go here. There's not really anything he can do, so Aaron drops back. A little tiny mistake there, hitting the wall on the exit of the last corner, and that has resulted in Aaron dropping down a place. So T Smith can he get after Fever, and Ross actually goes down the inside of Aaron there, has a little look. Aaron, they both give each other a nice room there, but Aaron was a bit all over the shop, and Ross thought it was an opportunity. Aaron's again, he's wide, and again he's hit the wall, just losing the tempo a little bit, the flow. Unfortunately, he's kind of dropping out in the back. T Smith Ross though didn't get the best run through that corner, so I think Aaron might be safe enough. Fever has set the fastest lap as a 51.9, and he's also now, I think, on this lap, he's had a decent run. And T Smith have had a decent lap, I think, here, because Fever is matching his best lap. So again, we're at 51. Having a bit of slide there on the exit. And Ross is all over the back. I think Ross is very quick. He just can't. I think he's having to kind of bide his time and hope for a mistake again and get past. Because Aaron is now, he's not in that immediate big slip kind of range now. He's probably getting a subtle boost now, Aaron. From behind T Smith, he's not. Oh, they all kind of hit the wall there behind Aaron, so I don't think any of them did very well there. It was very close to the back of Ross. I think Ross actually had the worst bounce there off the wall at the end. I think the pace dropped off there from the people behind. T Smith 51.6 though, so I think you can see there, I did say T Smith, I don't think it was an accurate picture and what he did in qualifying. It really a proper good lap in. You can see that there. 51.6 is quite a bit quicker than what he went quali. So yeah, he was a bit slick in that lap, but I'm not sure he's quite capable of in quali. Flagging P10, he's dropped down the order a little bit. Pagani is P8, but SPY, when I said keep an eye on SPY, he could be one to move up the order. I think he was a bit out of position in quali. He was definitely more capable than P9 down the back end of the top 10. He's definitely more capable than that further up. He's going to be close enough to the back of Pagani. The issue he now has is he's in the out of the cars, the slowest one in a straight line against the fastest one in a straight line. So he's going to have to get a bit kind of audacious, I think, here and find somewhere else to do. However, that's going to be easier said than done, I would imagine. Very close to the back of Fever. Fever is very much on the defensive. Behind him, up a little bit again. I think there's top 4 are very slightly moving away from the 2 Audis behind. who don't seem to quite have the pace of the top four. Now, Fever needs to find a few laps somewhere that he can get into the 51s, so he can try and move away a little bit. I'm not sure if that's going to be possible though. Aaron just hit as fast as that. My Aaron's back in the zone now. 52 flat. Andy then P7. He's a bit in no man's land. Got Graham P12, P13, P14. Oh, there's a change for the lead perhaps here. There is. T Smith sends it down the inside in the Peugeot. And there's a change for the lead on lap 6. For the first time, Tom has came in the lead, started P4. He's had to move up from there, and he is now, for the first time, in the race lead. And Fever come back at him. Although Tom made off into the distance, I wonder. Just a little bit that T Smith has already got a little gap there. 6 Chems already kind of moved away a little bit in that last sector, so Fever needs to try and stick with him. Now this is Fever's first experience really of dirty air around this sector 1. However, he actually didn't really impact him much. He actually closed in a little bit to T Smith there, so that was exactly what Fever needed through that first sector. Was a good run. Oh, tricky run through there, though he lost a good 10th and a half for the last corner on the sector. He needs to stick with him. He's close enough that you get a good slip here. So I think he will be safe from behind for this lap. And there is very much now a top 4. That gap's now 1.4, so we'll have got a gap now. It's still only 4 seconds though, covering the top 6, so very open. And behind it is as you were. However, SBY is very much on the back of Pagani, and there might be a change. SBY again, he's going to have to be audacious here on the down the inside he goes. Pagani tries to hold it round the outside. SBY I think has got this, has he? No, he hasn't. They're still side by side. Oh, still side by side. Pagani's going to go deep. SBY. Oh, it's messy. Oh, it's very messy. It's very messy. I think it's still out of your world though. Yeah, it's still 98. SBY 9. All a bit ragged there. So that. Oh, as Aaron is, I think Aaron might have hit the wall there, and Ross is back up into the podium places. He's got the inside line. Aaron's going to have to back out here. He's not going to want it side by side through there. The speed will lose will be horrendous. So yeah, Ross very nicely takes P3. Now what happens here? Now the Lambos, what do we do? Do they try and work together, try and close up to Tom? Does Fever let Ross go and see if Ross can get after? Do they stick a second and third? How does this work? What do they do? Last lap of the race there for Will, 52.2. Also 51.9, fastest lap of the race for Biggles. So Biggles closed that gap now, 1.2 behind. What happened to Tom Duval? Tom Duval's left, joined again. Graham P11, he's behind Blue Flag is P10. SBY is still behind Pagani. SBY has now, unfortunately for him, took a penalty which will cost him a place at the very least. SBY is going to try and go round the outside. However, he has got a penalty, so he's going to, even if he gets this overtake done, he's going to then drop behind. Well, this could be quite costly for SBY. He's going to at least lose one place. I'm not sure if he'll lose the place to... Oh, Graham's deep. A bit turned in though, maybe he sticks a different line. Low flag, very different line there from Graham behind. As well, definitely a corner though, you can take a lot of different lines. Still, as you are out front, the top three are same. So I got bored with this and see where SBY falls to half a second penalty, as closer to a second you lose. It's very costly. And you see it now where SBY will drop down to P11. No, yeah, P11, yeah, just behind Graham. Thought Frome was going to get him there for a second. But yeah, he managed to hold off Frome. But yeah, costly, 2 places. That's Graham and blue flag up a place. Blue flag got a place back. Graham start from the back. Steady progress into the top 10. Oh, Aaron's picked up a penalty. So it's now going to be very much a top 3, and Feber has managed to do a 51.4. He's on the fastest lap of the race. He's now within half a second. Not sure he'll quite have enough to get past here. Oh, he's having a look. He did have a look. It was audacious. Has he got it though? Oh, it's tight. We're around the next corner. T. Smith, I think, has held on. He has. That's allowed Ross to get close. Aaron's going to drop behind now. It's going to be very much a free horse race into the last couple of laps. Aaron's going to have dropped behind. It's going to be a 4-5-6 for the Audi boys at the moment. We'll try to keep an eye on this battle. P8. Okay, and he's far enough in front now that he's got P7 sorted, but it's in behind where it's all a bit more interesting. T. Smith then has the lead from a double Lambo. Now, what will happen? Can Tom hold on? 2 Lambos looking very interesting behind, and Ross is all over the back of Fever. This is interesting here. What do the Lambo boys do? Do they stick with this? Ross looks... He's very much got the pace at the moment. Tom immediately goes to cover off the Lambos. I think Ross might have a run here on Feber. Ross might have a run on Feber here. He's very close. Does Ross send it down the inside? No, he thinks better of it. Are they gonna settle the Lambos for a 2-3 finish? A very solid result. Garni still leads the P8 battle from blue flag, then comes Graham, then it's SBY, then Flying Frome. Carl's in P13. He had a dodgy lap 7, that's for something wrong for him. He must have had a moment. But it's T. Smith who leads us into the last corner with 1 lap to go. He had a dodgy run, T. Smith, he went deep, and Feber's all over the back of him. Does Feber go down the inside here? Does T. Smith go defensive? What does Feber do? Let's go on board. Oh no, he's going to stick with him. He thought better of it. He's going to try and stick with him. Oh, Feber's off the track. Oh, Feber nearly lost it there. He was so close to totally losing that. You can see Ross, how close Ross is. Oh, Feber got a bad run. I think that might be it. Fever's lost the grip there. I think when he went off, he went very slightly off track and Fever just didn't. However, Fever got an extremely good run. He's not close enough though, he is within half a second. Don't think he's close enough to have a lunge though, he's not going to be. It is going to have to be, you have to settle I think here for P2. T Smith has got 1 sector to go. Oh, he nearly had him, Fever. It was too ambitious for the latter part. I think he didn't quite get the run round turn 1. Turns out I think he was a little bit out of shape. And as he came towards, just before the tunnel, he just went a little bit wide, and that was it. Dirt on the tyres, it was all over, and it was T Smith who started all the way down in P4, who has managed to take the race win here, the first race, sprint race here, Trial Mountain. It's T Smith who's going to come across the line to take P1, and it is a double podium for the Lambos, 2 and 3 for them. Aaron fastest lap of the race into the 51s, takes P4. It's a P4, 5 and 6 on for the Audi boys, so very good result for them. P7 for Andy Peugeot, P8 for Pagani, then comes Blue Flag, then comes Graham, P10 SPY last Peugeot, then comes Frome, Carl and Grumpy. So, oh dearie me, it was a 12, 13 and 14 for the GTRs. Oh dear, oh dear. It's not like that. Don't know what happened to Tom Duval. He left and then rejoined. Not quite sure. There you go then. It was T Smith win from P4. Probably have a 5-10 minute break now, and then we'll be on to race 2. Oh, did you all? Apparently there was a lobby setting that gave everyone a minute penalty. What on earth is that about? Oh. How interesting. Can't say I've seen that one before. That's a new one on me. So it's a pit stop one. If you didn't do a pit, then you get a minute penalty. That was an accident. It must just be the dodgy room settings. Blame Biggles. It's his fault. Right. Okay. So you've got, remember, 2 tyre compounds to use on this one. Mediums and hards. Again, no requirement to do any amount of laps on each tyre. However, from last night, I think the most common strategies, if you were going flat out, I think some cars were doing 999. I think also putting on lap 7 for the hard, and 7 laps on the hard, and then 10 on the mediums was also very popular. I know some people did, for example James, I think did lap 6 even off the hard, so he started on hards and went 6 laps and then came into the pit end of lap 6. So I think if you're starting on the hards, lap 6 and 7, 6, 7, 8, 9 is your kind of your pit stop window. If you're starting on the mediums, anywhere from lap 9 to 11 is your pit stop window. So yeah, basically those 5 laps, use lap 6 to 11 is going to be a pit stop window for the first stops. Again, the usual way it works is if you are starting the back 6, 7, 8 positions, most if not all usually start on the hard tyres. Heavier towards the front, there's usually an even mix between medium and hard runners. Quite often though, quite a few of them will try the medium and try and create a gap, especially if you felt that you were out of position perhaps and you are faster than you should have, faster than you showed in race 1, you can get away then medium tyres, it could be helpful if you are starting towards the front, if you can get away. Bear in mind everyone else behind will be battling. I think we've seen... Oh yeah, Pagani's livery is gone. I'm not sure what's happened to Pagani's livery. And so is Ross's. Oh. I don't know why that happened. I think this game's just a bit broken, to be honest. Yes, the game, in the game, it's a bit broke. Yeah, I think some of the liveries have went northeast. So times for this, if you're, I think to be honest, if you're wanting to be up the top end, mediums, you need to be in the 52s. For basically most of them, if not all listening, in the 52s. If you're on the hards, it's 53s, 54s, what you're aiming for. I think it tends to be, if you're in the 50s, tend to start kind of upper 53s, maybe in the 54s. After a few laps and tyres warm up, you tend to be end up in the mid 53s. Tends to be how it works with the hards. You kind of gain a little bit more as you actually go through the stint, and the tyre heats up a little bit more and you lose a bit more fuel. Especially with the hards, you don't wear particularly much either. I think the tyre wear situation is fairly uniform across the field, with the exception of the Vipers, who I think munch through the front tyres. And also the issue with the Vipers is they have a pretty awful fuel. Especially if you have... The thing is with the Vipers, if you have long straights, they excel. However, they become even thirstier on fuel, which I think might be the case next week when we do Monza as well, is they will be incredibly quick. However, there's a chance they will lose bucket loads in the pits with fuel, because they could be incredibly thirsty. So, yeah, but very much that's the issue with them, the Vipers. However, if you are stuck behind them, they could be an absolute pain to get past until the pit stops. Be long now. I think Pickles is changing on me. No worries, I'll see if I can do it, Joker. Probably only be a very, very quick run through though. I don't have much time, I'll give you much time before we start in this one. What we look at are awesome Thomas on hard, which you expected. SVY interestingly is on the mediums. He's going to be starting around P5s, I think, about that ish. Carl and Frome look like starting on the mediums. Grumpy starting on the mediums. SBY. So from what I can see here, it looks like only 4 of them are starting on mediums. Okay, so yeah, I think it is Grumpy mediums, Carl mediums, Frome mediums, SBY mediums. The rest of the field are hards, right? So Grumpy, Carl, Frome, SBY mediums. Everybody else is hards. 27 laps ahead of us. Tom Duval hard. Everyone else in behind him, 4 places in behind him, are all starting on mediums. As we get underway, then Tom Duval could be a bit of a kind of cork in the bottle here for everyone in behind the mediums. And he's in a Viper as well, so it could be interesting. Tom Duval takes first few corners on those hard tyres. He's very pedestrian around there, and that has, I feel we're going to be very close as Carl and Frome and Grumpy all getting very close together. Grumpy drops down the order. That's P4, that's going to be P5 as he hits the wall. Graham's also there as well, he's on hard tyres as well as Blue Flag, who's going down the inside of Graham. I think he was going down the inside of Graham, but I think he got back out there. Oh, Pagani P8 with a lot of dust there, everyone very much on the inside. Will takes P10. We've got Ross is P13, however he's having a go at Biggles for P12. Keep an eye on this down the back straight. I think Biggles is getting a bit of slip though, and Ross might have to back off the way. He's going to head down the inside. Ross isn't giving this up, and I think it might be it. Biggles, yeah, he's trying to go around the outside. He's in front though. What's happening there? There's that melee of cars. Grumpy's in the middle of it. Andy trying to go round the outside. Grumpy's on the mediums. Nelson's on the hards here. Up front, Tom Duval is still in P1. He's SBY right behind him though. Remember, SBY's on medium tyres. Graham in P5 in hard tyres, so behind the first lot of medium runners, and Tom Duval, he's the first medium runner. Hard runner, sorry. Pagani on hard and P6, then comes Blue Flag, both the Vipers. Grumpy is P8 on mediums, he's dropped down the order. You've got Andy, and then in behind, no hard runners. And Biggles is losing our places. Fever jumps up in the hard tails to P13, so he's moved up a place. Aaron's done very well though, he's up to P10, so he's moved up a few more places. So he is now the lead Audi, having started as the back Audi. So yeah, very good start from him. He is managed to jump up a good few places on those hard tyres. It's all about how quickly he can warm up those hard tyres and get into a rhythm. There has been a change for the lead SBY. We're watching that. SBY has moved up into the lead of the race. Tom Duval, remember, hard tyres for him, and Carl was all over the back. However, Tom Duval is in a Viper, remember, so this is going to be interesting to watch. What's going to happen? Does Carl have any sort of pace on Tom Duval down this straight? Tom Duval is still moving away from him. And as Flying Frome takes the inside line there and gets through, and is having a look at Tom Duval, so Flying Frome now swaps and is now the lead GTR, is trying to get round Tom Duval. This is where you need to get past Tom Duval. This is where he's going to be a bolt. Round this sector in a car that's already bad enough as it is through the corners, let alone on hard tyres when you're on mediums. As you can see, Tom Duval sliding about there on those hard tyres. Frome needs to find a way through here. It's very important for their race. To take advantage of these medium tyres. And behind you can see Graham, Pagani, hard tyres. Tom Duval doing a good job for the time being. Them behind. Aaron and T. Smith is P8 and P9. Then comes Ross and P10. And Andy as well. As Ross is side by side here, and Andy's going to try and hold it. And oh, it's side by side there, and Andy did hold it. And Biggles is having a look back and get back past Ross. Andy went off side by side between the two Audis, and then there's Fever who's trying to get involved in the action as well. It's a bit of a mess in the back. A lot of them are fighting very close together. Pagani still P6, and it's Graham. Then it's this battle as Frome is very close to the back of Tom Duval. However, the issue is, even being this close, they don't gain much from Tom Duval on the straight. They are gaining a little bit more here as SBY is away and gone with 53.3 fastest lap. So he is away now, and Tom Duval is on the outside. This is it. Flying Frome's going to get through here. Tom Duval's not going to be able to hold that around the outside, and it is Flying Frome now who takes the place. Tom Duval is going to have to give that up. He might become under pressure, possibly. Carl shortly. It's a 53.3 out front for SBY. Who has a 3.5 second lead. You see the pace at the back. They're in the 56s at the moment, so it's with everyone being so close together, they're nowhere near the pace that they would be if they were in clean air, and that's very costly when SBY is doing 52.4s outside in the front of the field. 54.1, that's pretty nice from Pagani. And Graham, they are doing well on the hard tyres at the moment. They are significantly quicker than those behind them because they are battling, allowing 53s and 54s in behind. In the background though, they're still fighting and they're still in the 55, so you can see how much time they're losing. In the background, Biggles is going wide. Also, fuel's going to be important here. Again, a jump. Biggles has more fuel than the two in front of him. Ross has used the most fuel, interestingly. Unlike Ross. Tom's done well in his fuel so far. Blue flag not doing as well. Garney's using the most. Yeah, so Viper's using the most. Ross is interestingly used quite a bit. Tom Duval's used a fair amount as well. As that Frome has got a penalty, and that could drop him back behind Tom Duval, which would be an absolute nightmare. He needs to try and get well over a second in front, and he has got that second now, so he might be okay. He needs to pray and hope he's okay. He does not want back behind the Viper. This is dodgy. Oh, I think he might be over. He's still there. Get a better run. Oh, Frome, this could be horrendous. Does he have a better run through this final few corners? He has. I think he's safe. Oh, Tom Duval's all over the shot. I think he's been saved here. He has. Yeah, I think Frome. Oh, is he? Is he? No. Oh no. No, he's not safe. Oh, it's side by side. Oh dear. Oh no, fine Frome. Did all the hard work and now he's back there again. Graham's down the inside of Carl. I think Pagani was having a look now around the outside of Graham. Blue fly P7, then comes Tom P8, Aaron's P9. Lovely camera angle that one. Very nice little camera angle. Nice. Very nice. Yeah, Keeper's dropped back behind Biggles. SBY is 7.3 seconds out in the lead on the medium tyres. Now, remember what I said, if you were outside of the, as Frome is now getting back past Tom Duval, remember what I said, if you thought you were out of position and you feel you can get away, then the medium tyres can be beneficial when you start towards the front of the endurance. That's exactly what SBI has done. He has managed to get out in front and he is 7.3 seconds. 7.5 now. SBY is getting away from the field here. He still has hard tyres to run, but if you can get far enough in front here on this first stint, then it might be worth doing what SBY has done here. Someone is in the pits. It's T. Smith with a very early stop on lap 5, which suggests to me he's doing 11 laps on the mediums for both stints. So that's a very early stop. However, he's not the only one, and Feber, who has a tiny bit more fuel on him, has also in the Lambo decided to get out of the traffic and has also made the decision to go for a very early stop in lap 5. So interesting now, as Frome also on mediums now, same as SBY. SBY though, nearly 8 seconds out in front, and Frome has another half a second penalty. Frome is making this tricky for himself. He seems to like picking up penalties through that first sector, and that is total opposite of what you want to be doing in this. Especially when he's on the medium tyres, he wants to take advantage of them, and he's not penalties. Now, there we go, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, all on hard tyres. Sliding there. Ross also hard tyres. It's actually, he's got a little nice gap actually now, Ross, to get head into the 53s now, which I'm sure he'll probably be into this lap. He got a penalty as well. So yeah, let's have a little look here. That was for Graham's lost another position here. He's down to P7 now. However, Graham has got a bit more fuel. I wonder Graham's kind of letting the Viper go. He's not massively interested in fighting. So Graham's playing this a bit differently. Expecting quite a lot of these guys in this lap. There are a few. Who is it? Graham's one of them. Who else is it? Anyone else? Graham and Andy. It'll be the next lap then for the rest of them. Aaron's on the back of Pagani. Pagani's dropped to place here. Blue flag's up to B5 now. Ross is into the 53s, and a 53.1 at that, so that's a very quick time in hard tyres. You can see hard tyre runners are now only 7/10ths off of SBY out in front. SBY though does have a 10-second lead as Frome is dropped back behind Tom Duval. I'm sensing as kind of a bit of deja vu here. I must say Frome is going to be absolutely raging himself. Hard enough trying to get a Viper through a Viper once, and he's had to get past him twice, and he's now going to have to get past him for a third time. However, Tom Duval is very, very wide and out of shape through there, and he has lost time. Now, the thing is here, is he close enough that he gets enough slip that he can actually get past him, Tom Duval here? Now, Tom Duval, you want to try and force Tom Duval to the outside here. He's not quite close enough this time, because that car, oh, you can see it, you can't even get that car turned in properly. Frome's nearly past him, and the drive of that Viper is through. Tom Duval's all over the shot there. Got a pretty awful run through there. You can see Frome is all over. Again, Frome takes a narrow line, tries to get a good exit. However, drive of the Viper, even if you get a bad exit, it still seems to be hard to get past it. Everyone else is into the pits now. A lot of the hard runners are into the pits. 53.3, so SBY's times are dropping off now. And then comes everyone to the pits. Interestingly, Will has a lot of fuel, 4 or 5 litres more than the rest of them. Now, Fever's 6 seconds behind T. Smith. Now, T. Smith, I would expect, will jump all of those hard runners quite comfortably, and he'll be way out in front of them. However, he'll have less fuel and an extra lap to do on each of his stints on the medium tyres. So, will be the difference there. Blue Flag's doing a solid job. He's up in P5. He's came from the back. He's managed to get past his teammate. Now, interestingly, as you would expect, even on lap we're only on lap 8, remember here. They are very much going to be doing 999, I'd imagine, for the Vipers, which was expected. However, even look at the tyre wear on the hard tyres on lap 8, and it is at least about 35 to 40% on the front right. Now you can imagine what those front rights are going to be like heading towards the end of a medium stint. Bear in mind they're on the hards right now and it's that bad. It's not going to be comfortable, put it that way. I would not want to be a Viper. Actually, conveniently, the Lambos are actually together. Fever and Graham, which is very, very nice. Graham has more fuel. However, that is very convenient for them because it allows them to team up a little bit, perhaps. It's helpful for them. Tom DeVal is still in P2 on the hard tyres. He is doing the same 999. You see the difference in fuel though. Look at the amount of fuel Carl has compared to Tom DeVal. It's an extra, what, 15%? Maybe even more. Even compared to his teammate, Carl was getting an extra, what, 5 litres, I would say, at least. Maybe a bit more than that, actually. So a noticeable difference that Carl has over his teammate, for example. The issue Carl has, though, is he hasn't on the hard tyres. His Pro takes the inside line, Tom DeVal got all out of shape. Oh no, he's now, though, going to do the switch back, and he's going to go around the outside. However, Tom DeVal's all over the shot, and he then unintentionally gives a nudge to Carl. The issue that Blue Flag now has is he's in the 53s, however he's now, him and Pagani, fortunately they are on lap 9, they're on the pit lap, because they are now coming up against these three who are not running at a particularly strong pace, especially considering they're on medium tyres. I know they're worn, but Tom DeVal's held them up an absolute treat here. Favourite to his Vipers behind. They're not running anywhere near the pace you would expect them to be running on medium tyres. They've held up so much with Tom DeVal. You see here, Tom DeVal's 8 tenths down on his 54 ones. If he was to complete this lap, he'd been probably in the 55s. So times are falling apart. You can see the tyre was about 50% now in the front right. As Tom DeVal, I think, is only doesn't. Tyre wear is that bad for the Vipers, they're not even doing 999. They're actually carrying on for a further lap. Let's say the Vipers are really feeling it around here. They're going to really struggle. They're going to do an extra lap, I'm going to do 10 laps on hard tyres. Which is not ideal. So what is Tom DeVal? Was a 55 that lap. So T. Smith is in P9, 53.1 was his first lap on mediums. I imagine he'll be very much in the 52s now on this lap. Keep an eye, but I'm shocked if he wasn't in the 52s now. After a lap, picking them up. Yeah, 52.6, there we go, well into the 52s. And I think Fever is also in the 52s, 52.5, there we go. 53 flat for Graham, who has Aaron for company, has set the fastest lap of the race, which is a 52.3. So Aaron is running nicely in that Audi. I must say he's very comfortable. Even just watching there, it's a very nice first sector. In a rhythm here. Grumpy has those medium tyres now for 10 flat on them. And he is now under threat from T. Smith, who will probably get past the end of the straight perhaps. Now under half a second. He might be a little too far back. I think he'll be close enough T. Smith by the end of the straight to go for it. Maybe not actually. He will be close enough. T. Smith sends it down the inside. Grumpy doesn't have the pace to fight him on those tyres. As Frome enters the pits from his medium tyres onto the hards. Tom Duval is down in P4, so missed that when we were down the field. He is plummeted down the order as the... It's unbelievable, the bike is carrying on again. They're now on lap 11 now on those hard tyres. As blue flag sends it down the inside of Carl. I think Carl's mediums are starting to give up. However, I don't think blue flag's hards are much healthier, to be honest. Yeah, there's a change for B2. Gap in front. SPY is still in the 53s, low 53s, and he is on lap 11, and he is 18 seconds clear of blue flag. Remember, he does have to run the hard tyres, so that is a huge gap out front. Graham 52.1, so interestingly, Graham is now fastest, and conveniently for Graham, Froome has come out behind him and has actually come out behind him and in between him and Aaron, which has basically meant that Aaron has now been held up behind a hard tyre runner of Froome, which is allowing Graham to get a bit of a move on. Aaron is going to get Froome, you'd imagine, on this straight. SPY is into the pits. Comes out. Aaron expects will have moved down the inside of Froome here. Froome is on the hard tyres, so he's doing his short hard stint now. Blue flag finally enters the pits as he gets rid of those hard tyres. Onto the mediums now. We'll be doing 2 8-lap stints, so that tells you how bad their tyre wear is in the bike. They can only do 8 laps when other people are doing 11 laps. Is on the back now of Froome, and he will be down the inside into this next corner, and Ross gets the move done. Or does he get it done side by side? He does get it done. You would like an onboard of Bagel, Joker? He is doing the one stop, I believe, but he is. The thing is, SPY is only 14 seconds behind him, so he's. We'll see if it works out for him, but I'm not sure it works out in GT1 when you do the one stop. I think the pace is too high, and you end up absolutely smothered by the field and just losing tons of time, and you end up. We'll see how it plays out. Keeper fit, Graham 6, Campbell's running nicely. Aaron behind again. Good race. Keeper Aaron having a good night so far. So is Tom in P4. He won the first race. SPY. Is in P3 on hard tyres. I wonder how many laps he will do. Biggles carries on, so this is his last lap, and then he'll have 14 laps on the mediums. Unless he does, I think 2 laps. Interestingly, he's just done his fastest lap of the race, which is a 53.8. Not bad, so then he's actually on 13th lap. So have to keep an eye on them quite nicely. Carl's still out in front. They're both doing the one stop looks of different tyre compounds though. Carl's still the hard tyres to run. Biggles has the mediums to run. Down on this lap. You can see how much he's fuel saving though. He's only getting to just over half the revs, and then he's he was mid corner, he's now straight. Nice. Graham's under pressure here, from Aaron. Down the straight. 52 is versus the West. Hasn't enough match that last time around. They are on exactly the same tyres and fuel, so very much racing for position, these two. And Aaron is going to have a look here. Graham goes to the inside. Aaron is going to take the sweeping line round and trying to get a cracking exit. It really worked out though. So we were really good overtake rounds here. Sector's just more about sitting, waiting for the straight start line. Biggles is carrying on, so he's done 13 laps on the mediums. Biggles this time around does he 55.2 out front for Carl, so Carl's starting to lose time now. SBY, this is his first full lap on the hard tyres, and it is a 53.6, which is very competitive. Now SBY has more fuel than T-Smith, noticeably more. However, T-Smith is on the fast starts now. Once they get onto the last stint, you'll know exactly where they are, and they'll both be on medium tyres, so it'll be a fair fight. However, at the moment, it's a bit misconstrued tyres. Now, Fever's also on the same strategy as T-Smith. He has a tiny bit less fuel, but very similar strategy, and he is 3.4 behind. Graham and Aaron are also on the same strategy. However, Graham and Aaron do have more fuel, so I think they've actually jumped Fever in the next stops. Ross has set the fastest lap of the race last time around, and he is now 52 flat. So there you go. And he's very, very consistent in the low 52s as Ross. So he's now closed up. Aaron's with 3 tenths a lap slower, so that's why Ross is now directly behind. Now, interesting to see where Biggles comes out at the end of this. I think everyone will be coming at him towards the end of the stint. Particularly Carl. I think Carl might struggle because he's going to be in the hard tyres. I'm not sure Carl's pace was enough in that first stint on the medium tyres that he's going to be near enough ahead to make it work, really, unfortunately. I think the fact he got stuck behind Tom Duval was going to play a big part in that. So SBI and T-Smith are going to take the top 2 positions for the time being, at least, and Fever's going to take P3. So it'll be a 2x2 with the Peugeots and Lambos for a bit. An Audi in the last lap going up. But yeah, very much still open this race to see where they come out. I think, unfortunately for the Vipers, I do think they are struggling here a lot. I don't think they will be anywhere near the top guys towards the end. Unfortunately, I think their car around here just does not work at all. They have got more fuel than those around them, however, I think the tyre wear just kills them. It's not really the fuel as much, I just think it's really the tyre wear around here. Fever then is now actually closing in a little bit. I think SBY is now. T-Smith has been held up a little bit behind SBY, which means Fever's closing up a little bit. He'll be in turn bringing Graham, Aaron, and Ross with him. So they're all tightening up a little bit. Will still there behind as well. He's running nicely in P7, but in no man's land him. Frome is also in no man's land in P8. So no one really in front or behind, particularly close. Blue flag, very quick last lap, 52.2. Ross is now set at 51.8, so Ross is flying. Obviously. He's now probably got a bit between his teeth here, and he's closing up. They're all closing up low, because T-Smith's last lap was a 53.3. I mean, Fever was 3.5 seconds a few laps, so he's now 2.5 behind, so it's a noticeable difference here. I think T-Smith will have one more lap, because he pitted lap 5, if I'm correct, I think, which means it was 11 laps he was having to do, so he'll have one more lap, T-Smith, and he'll be coming in lap 16. The same with Fever, and then Graham and the rest of the bunch will be in lap 17. So, difference in strategy here. I think SBY will be 16 or 17. I'm not sure what SBY's lap is. It's coming on. Ross is all over the back of Aaron here. Aaron hit the wall. Ross does the inside. And Aaron's going to try and hold it. However, Ross gets the move done. Aaron had to give it up. He tried to hold it for as long as possible, Aaron, but then he realised he wasn't going to get it. Turned in enough. So Ross moves up to P5. T. Smith, P2, less than a second behind SBY. However, Keeper is catching T. Smith by at least half a second a lap at the moment. T. Smith starting to struggle a little bit. And he's picked up a penalty, he's P9. Blue flag, still that second behind, I think blue flag's kind of closing, obviously. Andy's on a lot more worn medium tires. The blue flag hasn't been on those medium tires for very long, and they're already starting to show signs of a lot of wear. He is very quick, blue flag, though. He is in kind of the territory of the leader's pace. However, unfortunately for that Viper, is it drops off a metaphorical cliff very quickly. Where is Andy going there? Andy's all over the shot there. Oh, blue flag's all over the shot there. Right behind him. Oh, there we are. The people expected to come in are in. But Aaron was at the next lap though, but Andy's got a penalty anyway here, so blue flag will be passed. Which will be a relief for him. Doesn't actually have to get past. Blue flag will take P9, which then becomes P6 because people are in the pits. So that releases Ross to get after Graham. Past Aaron, and he's now got Graham in his sights. SBY 4.4 in front, still on the hard tyres. However, SBY will be on the mediums, the same as those behind him. So SBY is in the net race lead here, I think. Just about from T. Smith. T. Smith will have the undercut, though. T. Smith might jump him. But SBY obviously has less laps to do on this medium tyre, so we'll see what happens here. Ross is, I think it's fair to say, is probably the quickest a little bit at the moment on track, and he is now getting past Graham up to P2. Graham kind of let him go over and lose their teammates. So, imagine Graham is fighting that particularly much. So the guys at pit have come out in P12, P13. Now interestingly again, T. Smith has under-fueled compared to Fever, so Fever has more fuel, so T. Smith will have to fuel save here. Aaron's come out behind Grumpy, which is not ideal. Frome is off his hard tyres now, everyone else is in for their stops. So at the front lot, Ross has more fuel than Graham, Will has more fuel than all of them. SBY carries on for what is going to be his final hard tyre lap before he comes in. Biggles is, remember, going to be, he is in the lead, and he will be in the lead for at least a while, but remember he is, see, what's here, what's the gap, 10 seconds he has, and Biggles, well, yeah, he had, to be fair to him, he has done a 52.7. Has he pulled off a master stroke here? He has done this before, Biggles, when he's managed to hold on with one stop. Carl's also on a one stop. Remember though, he's on hard tyres, so he's going to be eaten up by the field before long. He's on a 54.4, which, to be fair to him, is a pretty competitive time for hard tyres. However, the rest of them will be in the low 52s. So, but Biggles is the interesting one, because if he can consistently do 52s, high 52s, then they're going to struggle to get past. Oh no, I've seen chunks of it unsafe. I knew the one stop was a possibility, but it doesn't usually get used much in GT1 because of the speed. And a lot of people struggle to then get anywhere with one stop. They tend to use the two stop, and that's why most people avoided it. Which is why I think Biggles is one of the only ones. However, it might work out here. The thing is, I think if we stay out of trouble, Biggles has the pace here. Carl, I think, is going to eat up on those hard tyres. The SBY's in. That's the thing, Biggles is very good on tyres, isn't he? That's his advantages. He's very, very good on tyres, as you know. So it has worked, I think, for Biggles this, but for Carl, the way it's working, he's 4.6 ahead of SBY, who's on fresh medium tyres. Everyone in behind, chunks and gaps here for me. Now, Graham's out in front of Ross. So Ross now has to go back past Graham, however they are on, Ross has more fuel. I think Graham might let Ross go here, because Ross is very, very quick. They'll see what you can do, Ross. And Fever's in behind, so it's a Lambo 8, 9, 10 at the moment. However, a lot of the guys in front of them have to do their final pit stops, including all three Vipers, who are currently in 1, 2, 3. However, they are very much out of sync with the rest of the field. So, all to play for here. You've got the net race leader is Biggles, Carl. Then it's SBY, T. Smith. Carl's going to be eaten up by the field before long, I think he is. It's 4.4 in front of SBY. Biggles, on the other hand, has set a 53.3 last time around. SBY and Tom will be in the 52s. So, as if they are... I generally don't think they're close enough to Biggles. That, like, Biggles is under massive pressure. If Biggles can hold off in the tyre wear situation, then Biggles is, by far, I think, favourite for this win at the moment. However, it's all to do with tyre wear. He's just a 53 flat, so I just don't see how any of them are going to be that much quicker than Biggles to overtake him. They need to be, what, 1.5 seconds faster, and no one's into the mid-51s. So, for example, Graham's only 3 times quicker than Biggles last time around, and Biggles is 13, 14 seconds in front of him. The only one that could do it, I think, is SBY. But I'm not sure SBY is quick enough, pace-wise, to get past him. The Carl one's interesting. It's how far Carl will drop. He will drop, but it's how much on those hard tyres. It's only 54.3, so everyone behind him is, what, 1.5 to 2 seconds a lap faster. Ross is directly behind Graham. We've got Fever actually very close behind, and Aaron as well. Very, very interesting this. The Audi possibility of doing the one stop as what? I must say Carl's done a cracking race as well. Some of the GTR's pretty gash around here to be up in P2. I know he's not going to finish P2 unless there's a lot of accidents. He's just on those hard tyres, however he's done a great result. Graham deep. It's gonna allow Ross to get in behind him. Smith, 52.6. That's actually a personal best. 52 flat for SBY. SBY, here it comes, I think. He's got a better run. Hard tyres versus medium tyres. Higher offset here. Last around, SBY was 2.7 seconds quicker. That's the tyre, and lets him go. There's no point in really fighting that. He's in a different race here. How far he drops down the order, he's going to try and have to hold off as much as possible. Last around Tom, 2.1 seconds quicker, so at that rate he'll be with him in a lap and a half. Past him by the end of the straight. And he keeps up this rate. Back straight, he might be on him. And we've got Ross, you know, 3 Lambos coming up behind. Oh, what happened to Graham? Why is Graham in P7? Oh, Ross has picked up a half a second penalty. Oh dear. P7 is under him. It's P8, then it's. Well, I hope he's having a good race again. Steady race. Big one, 6.4 out front. 5 laps after this one. SBY is lapping, a second a lap faster. Probably needs a little bit more than that, to be honest. Tight, and I was right what I said with T Smith being on the back of him by the back straight. He's not quite past him by the end of the back straight though, but not be long. He'll drop further down the order. Whether everyone from about kind of Aaron Graham area catch up to Dusty Bossel, Carl, once T Smith gets him into the final couple of corners. Now, where does he finish? He's going about a second and a half slower. Then at that rate, he probably will be down P8, P9. Ross is under pressure there from FIBA. He has that penalty. I think FIBA are on the same team, so they're just working together here. So, yeah, we've got together to get past. Steve also was on the one stop. Now, Big O's is 5.3 out front. 53.4 last time around. 52.1. 1.3 seconds. That's what SBY needs a lap, roughly, to get past them. So, Big O's might still find himself P2, still be SBY. Peugeot's if he had a cracking job. Main disadvantage of Peugeot is obviously down the straight, the rest of this track suits him, it's just this straight that's the issue. behind the train of Lambos. And then comes Well, who's set a personal best 52.2. Yeah, 11th, 12th, and 13th, unfortunately, for the Vipers. It was kind of as expected, though. It is not track at all. The tyre wear's too much for them, loading the field, to be honest. In fact, I had to do so many laps on hard tyres, which is about a second and a half slower than the mediums. So what have we got? SBY, I think he's had a decent lap there. 51 he has. SBY this lap is a 52.1, so he's only a second this lap. However, there is, what, 4.4 seconds, 4 laps left. He needs more than a second a lap. SBY. Now, the tyre wear is starting to creep into Biggles. You can see it's going to be tight. It's going to be very tight now. Actually, Dusty Fossil is now being caught by the chasing pack behind, and this is going to be a struggle now because he's got a train of 5 cars directly behind him now that are all going to be way up to the back of him. Yeah, here comes Ross. Right. First car to make the move. Maybe Ross here. Down the inside he goes. He's going to sit and duck here. Just not going to have the grip. He loses 1 place. Fever is now going to have a little look in the next few corners, I'd imagine. Get past anywhere. Fever catching up to the back now. He's very close. Back of him there. And he gets a much better run there through the exit corner. And he might have him down the inside here. He does, sends it down the inside. And that will be it. Fever makes the move. Graham's all over the back as well now. And pulls to the inside. And I think is Graham going to back out here. Is Graham going to go for it? Graham's going to go for it. And Carl has to back out. Dusty Fosso down to P7. He lost 3 places there in the space of about 7-8 corners. Oh, he's going to lose another one. There goes Aaron. I said it was going to happen at some point. Lap 25. He's lost 4 places. Will it be 5? Will's having a look. He's done a cracking race. But unfortunately, as expected, he has been a bit slobbered up. I think it was Tom Duval at the start that kind of... I think if he had a bit more clean air perhaps, then he would have been probably a good 6, 7, 8 seconds further up the road by the time he came at the last stop. So still a cracking race to do the 1 stop, but unfortunately Dusty Fosso is now P9. And he has a comfortable gap behind though, so that should be it, hopefully. P9 forward. Right, okay, back up front then, let's keep an eye out. T. Smith is under pressure, I think, here from Ross, because Ross has more fuel and better tyre wear. Out front, Biggles has had a tricky lap, because the gap is down to 2.3 seconds. There's 2 laps left. What's the lap time for Biggles? It's a 53.3. It's actually not that bad a lap. 52.4 for SBY. I think it was a lap before. 2 laps to go, and it's 2.1 seconds. Let's go on board, shall we, with SBY. It's the gap. Almost just above 2 seconds. Better exit there, just over 2 seconds the gap. Biggles get a good run. I think this is where though Biggles has managed to eke out a bit of a gap there. He's got 2.2 seconds, but is it this last sector where it starts to get very twisty, which the Peugeot is naturally better at, and the tyre wear is going to really impact Biggles. As Ross is 1.7 now behind, but we'll get stick on board with Biggles. Keep an eye on him, as this is going to be where this Audi, I think, is going to lose a bit of time. However, SBI's had a bad run, and it's 2.3 seconds now. The gap. Yeah, it's a bit pedestrian like Biggles through that corner there. You mean Biggles lost good 4/10 of a second there. Oh, he's all over the shot there on the exit as well. It's under 2 seconds. However, Biggles has done a good job this lap. You can see though, you can see this is where the tyre wear. Oh, you can see he's struggling with the grip. However, to be fair, SPY's not done much better. He's actually done no better for the last corner. So Biggles managed to do a 53.4. Will it be fuel that plays the difference? He's not got much fuel at all, Biggles. It's 1.7. We're on to the last lap. It's a cracking job, Biggles here. He's somehow holding off here. 1.4 between Ross and T Smith. It's still a 4.56 for the Lambos, 7th and 8th for the Audis. It's still 9th for Dusty Boss, who I think has, as expected, now managed to keep that position. There was a big gap behind, which I don't think was big enough to be broken. So as you were down the back end of the field, it's 1.4. It's more than that though. SPY has just hit the wall on the exit there. It's now up to 1.8. I think the biggest worry for Biggles now is fuel. It's not tyres, it's not SPY. He's not got much at all in the way of fuel here, Biggles. Does he have just enough though to get him to the end of the race? He's only got less than 1 sector to go now. Not many corners left. He's got very little remaining though, Biggles. He's got a few corners to go though. Less than 2 seconds out front. But Biggles with the one-stop strategy gets round the final corner. And he has done an absolutely exceptional race, and Biggles will come across the line to take P1. What a great result for Biggles that was. Great strategy. SUI takes P2. T Smith rounds out a double podium for the Peugeots. Job there. And it is P4, P5 and P6. Ross had a bad last lap. And then it is P7, P8. Then it's the lead GTR P9 from P10. Then it's the Vipers 3 in a row, last Peugeot, and then Grumpy. So yeah, interesting. Yeah, it definitely was the. You see, all the Audis were in the top 8. All Lambos were in the top 8, and you had 2 Peugeots in the top 8. So very much a track that favoured the Peugeots, Audis, and the Lambos there. The Vipers very much struggled with the tyres there, and I think the corners didn't really suit the GTR. With a look at it, had a bit of a struggle there as well. So there we go. As we've said this season though, certain tracks will suit certain tracks. It's just one of those things. Whereas next week we go to a high-speed circuit of Monza, so it'll be very, very different next week, possibly. What cars are suited perhaps by that track, but yeah, it's just how it works. Some tracks will suit others more than some of the other cars. But we've got Grumpy, who Coming across the line. Take his end of the race. The one stop there worked for Biggles. He did 14 laps on the hards, 13 laps on the mediums. I think a lot of people knew it was doable, but I think a lot of people avoided it thinking it wasn't going to be fast enough in GT1. However, Biggles has proved them wrong, because it was fast enough. Biggles then, with some cracking pace, you can see 52.7 was his best lap, which is only 9/10 slower than the absolute overall best lap. And bearing in mind, Biggles did one less stop than the field. Very, very impressive from Biggles there, taking away P1. SBY and T Smith, I say, rounding out the podium. Then it was the three Lambos in sequence, P4, P5, P6, before the two Audis in P7 and P8. P9, 10 was the GTRs, with three Vipers in sequence in P11 to P13, before the Peugeot of Andy P14, and Grumpy rounds out in P15. So there you go. I'd say definitely track that suited some other cars more than others. Definitely, the Viper definitely struggled, particularly with some of these corners and the tyre wear. Tyre wear probably shouldn't be as much of an issue next week though, as we go to Monza. Obviously, not a lot of high-speed corners, other than kind of Parabolica and Ascari. A lot more slow speed at Monza. You got high-speed straights, low-speed chicanes. So Monza definitely might be a very, very different track to this one. It's very high-speed orientated in terms of the corners. Different set of characteristics at Monza for sure. So Thursday GT2 as always, Friday GT1 as always. Do join us again. Remember, it is Italy's double points week, so the Lambos will be hoping for a good result next week. They had a pretty good night tonight. Definitely track suited that Lambo pretty well. So do join us again next week. Remember, double points for Italy, same time as usual for GT2 GT1.